Hi, YouTube. All right, site chat, wave to YouTube. Say hi, YouTube. Hi. Hi, YouTube. Hello. Nice to see you, YouTube. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Beautiful. Hi, YouTube. Hello. Nice to see you, YouTube. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us today. We have some fun stuff to talk about. We have some fun stuff. He knows dust. It's true. Hello. Hello. I love Toad Wave. It's such a good emote. Anyways, let's talk about it, okay? So here we are a couple of weeks after Roe v. Wade was overturned by the radical, wild, conservative Supreme Court that is going to be ruling over us for some time. And obviously in a lot of states, they had trigger laws that were put in place that would instantly block all or almost all abortions in the state once Roe v. Wade was overturned. And it was, and Ohio was one of those states that implemented very strict abortion laws that are hurting a lot of people. Now, with that being said, now we here on the left know that these laws will only harm people in the long run and as soon as it happens, because it is a medical decision that should be between people and their doctors. The legislature has no need to get in the middle of it. And when it does, it only makes things harder for people to get the health care that they need. Now, one big thing that we talk about is that in cases of like assault or something, or with like young people, it's like really important to make sure that we have those strong abortion laws that allows them to stop that from happening. Because personally, I don't think that babies should be having babies. Now, this may be a wild take for me, but apparently a lot of conservatives don't agree with that take, and they think that they should. And we talked a lot about in the debate in the country about abortion, touch on many things, but like incredibly young people being forced to be pregnant was one thing for why abortion should be legal. Conservatives didn't care or acknowledge that at all. And it seems like what we had feared would happen has already happened only a couple weeks after it's been overturned. As Ohio restricts abortions, a 10-year-old girl travels to Indiana for an abortion procedure. Now, in Indiana, they didn't have trigger laws, and they're at the moment in time, they're a little bit more lenient on abortion than states that surround them, specifically my state, Kentucky, as well as Ohio. And so a lot of people from Ohio and Kentucky, after their abortion clinics have been shut down and Planned Parenthoods have been shut down, a lot of people have been basically turned into refugees to go to places like Indiana and Illinois to get abortion care. And it seems like this 10-year-old, literal 10-year-old, was forced to travel after being assaulted and impregnated. On Monday, 3 days after the Supreme Court issued its groundbreaking decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, Dr. Caitlin Bernard in Indianapolis, OBGYN. Is that what the fuck? I've never seen this word before.
Obstetrician.
I've never pronounced the word obstetrician before. I know it's an OBGYN, but I know everybody just says OBGYN. I didn't know how to say obstetrician. I read this before. I just didn't read it. I just didn't think about reading it out loud. Baby doctor. I love new words. Baby doctor is what he is. Hours after the Supreme Court action, the Buckeye State had outlawed any abortion after 6 weeks, and now this doctor had a 10-year-old patient in the office who was 6 months and 3 days pregnant. Could Bernard help? And so basically this goes on like a story about how abortion laws in Indiana thankfully are not changed at the moment, but places like Ohio now ban abortions after 6 weeks. It looks like this poor child wasn't able to know or make their way to an abortion clinic before the six weeks happened. 6 weeks and 3 days. It's actually genuinely disgusting. And there can be like lifelong injuries or death that could happen if you give birth at that age. Literally no human being should give birth at that age. That's genuinely disgusting and ridiculous. I'm sorry. This isn't middle-aged England where you marry your brother and he impregnates you with 17 children at the age of 12. Okay. I'm sorry. We shouldn't live in that world again. Okay. But with that being said, obviously a lot of conservatives this looks bad for them. You know, literally 3 days after what they've been campaigning for, something like the story that everybody said would happen happens instantly. That they try and take those rights away. It's not a good look. But instead of coming to grips with like the look of what your ideology actually does to human beings, like the suffering that your ideology causes on the world, instead of coming to grips with that, they just lie. And they just say that it never even happened in the first place. That story, here's what conservatives had to say about it after it came out.
So what does it tell us that politicians are lying about this? Can you imagine? And why did the Biden administration, speaking of lying, just repeat a story about a 10-year-old child who got pregnant and then got an abortion or was not allowed to get an abortion when it turns out the story was not true? And by the way, when a 10-year-old gets pregnant, the first question is not, how do we get rid of the kid? The first question is, where's the rapist? Where's the rapist? Allison Centofonte.
Ah, yes. When somebody impregnates a 10-year-old, you just shouldn't worry about it, you know? You know, whatever. Just deal with the rapist and, I don't know, just like let the baby have a baby, I guess, you know? I mean, she's a woman. If she get like, just so you know, what that is Tucker Carlson saying, if there's grass on the field, play ball, okay? What he's saying is, there's no reason to quit the game halfway, you know? If she's old enough to play, the baby's old enough to stay. And I think that's disgusting. If you have to, like, you know, ask me, if I were to chime in, I have to say that's genuinely disgusting. I like, and you should not be around other human beings, all right? We need more people to be embarrassed in this world, not less. So true, hashtag hands off our kids. That's gross. And the entire Murdoch Empire family was trying to spin this story as fake. You know, Jesse Waters, media ran with story of 10-year-old pregnant girl, but it's fake. 10-year-old rape victim's abortion leaves a number of glaring questions. So everybody's like, oh, we're asking questions because this isn't adding up. You can't tell me that, you know, the bad things I said wasn't going to happen actually happened. That can't be true. An abortion story too good to confirm. Too good? Too tasty? Too good. Like, and they're the ones who saying that, like, the Democrats are like licking their lips. New abortion story. I'm sorry. This is just the world that we live in. It's the world that you dumped us into. You disgusting piece of shit. Biden told the tale of a 10-year-old rape victim that no one can identify. No one can identify, apparently. Too good. That 10-year-old rape was, in quotes, too good. Yep. Conservative family values, everyone. And would you look at that? At the very end, arrest made in rape of Ohio girl led to Indiana abortion drawing international attention. So it's very odd how these guys spent all their time going, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake, all the way up until they actually caught the guy. Because it's not fake, it's real. It's a real story. Here as well is more politicians commenting on abortion and that 10-year-old even.
That I clearly don't trust women enough to make choices to control their own body. And my response is, I do trust women enough to control when they allow a man to ejaculate. So inside of them, and to control that intake of semen. So that may be inflammatory, but I think as a legislature, we have the responsibility to create a legal framework that is friendly in supporting rights.
So you heard it, girls. If you ever are in like a rape situation and you don't want to become pregnant, just inhibit your semen intake system and you'll be fine. Just like, don't get pregnant, Lamau. Dumbass. Ever thought about that? Semen receptors inhibited. Go in for the final attack. Rape doesn't exist. Yeah, so I guess that 10-year-old should have just, you know, gotten over it. Should have, you know, just tell the grown man to not like inseminate her, you know, as 10-year-olds can do. You know, just stop your semen intake, I guess. This says the person who's never had sex before in their entire life. Yeah, I don't know. Can you like just turn your vagina and uterus inside out to make it go bleh, to just drop the come out? Like, can't you just do that? You just like spit it out? Like, come on. Come on. If you didn't want to get pregnant, then you just wouldn't, right? Because every single time like people have sex, that means that they know that they want to have kids. They just like lie about it afterwards, right? Yeah, Swiper the Fox. Rapist, no raping. Rapist, no raping. Well, would you? But, obviously for conservatives, they wanted to run with the story that's too good, which is apparently a lie about how this story is a lie, because the second they ran all their stories saying that it's fake, they instantly made their arrest. They instantly made the arrest of the guy. Gerson Fuentes. Holy crap! Fuentes? Curious. What did Fuentes do this time? Gerson Fuentes, 27, whose last known address was an apartment on Columbus Northwest Side, was arrested Tuesday after police say he confessed to assaulting a child on at least 2 occasions. Wow, that's pretty sick. That's pretty gross. Actually, genuinely disgusting. 2? Yeah, like I guess he wasn't satisfied with just once. Yeah, at least. They don't know how many times. He since has been charged with rape, a felony, first degree in Ohio. Columbus police were made aware of the girl's pregnancy and a referral by the Franklin County Children's Services. So yeah, like they got this information before, right? They know that this was real. They know it 100%. But the thing is, like, they didn't want to accept it. And I'm not even talking about people on Fox News, right? I'm talking about even Ohio politicians. So on like Fox News, Jesse Waters, Ohio AG, the Attorney General, said that there's not a whisper of a 10-year-old who was assaulted and impregnated. Not a whisper. He didn't look into it at all. So after not looking into the story whatsoever, he goes on to Jesse Waters to say that this is fake.
Looking into this, a police report was filed?
Not a whisper. And we work closely with we have a decentralized law enforcement.
Just so you know, he's a demon. So the connection is bad because we don't have a good reception from hell to the mortal plane,
System in Ohio. But we have regular contact with prosecutors and local police and sheriffs. Not a whisper anywhere. Something maybe even more telling, Jesse, is my office runs the state crime lab. Any case like this, you're going to have a rape kit, you're going to have biological evidence, and you would be looking for DNA analysis, which we do most of the DNA analysis in Ohio. There is no case request for analysis that looks anything like this.
Yeah, and if it's a family member, then it's even an easier way to find the DNA right there. You just call the father, the uncle, the grandfather, anything, and you get the guy's DNA and you lock them up.
Yeah, dude, it's so easy. Like, if women don't like report that they've been raped, did it ever happen? Is it even real? Because like, if there would be a rape, then there'd just be a rape kit. Obviously, it's totally not like people get assaulted and then they're just, and then they just walk free. What? That's crazy, man. You're telling me that not everybody can get to like a rape kit? You're not telling me that people don't like hide afterwards? Especially if it's a family member, to like not draw suspicion because they're scared of anything that could happen to them and they're scared for their own personal safety.
This meme is very real.
What? She's 6 weeks pregnant. It's been 6 weeks minimum. Bless you. Back to what we were talking about. But the AG for Ohio wasn't the only person who was drastically wrong about this story. Also, Jim Jordan and the House Judiciary Committee also retweeted this. Ohio AG said his office has not found any evidence of the 10-year-old victim in the state who, according to the report, was 6 weeks pregnant. Another lie. Anyone surprised? Anyone surprised? Another lie. Well, anyone surprised? More Republicans not knowing anything that they're talking about. Truly a surprising turn of events. Is it not? Is it not? And the thing is, not a single one of them cared about this issue. They really didn't care. The reason being because this one local reporter was the only reporter in their courtroom as the man accused of assaulting the 10-year-old girl and impregnating her, leading to the abortion in Indiana, was arraigned. The only reporter in the courtroom. One. Only one. Fox News didn't care about it. The Examiner, the Washington Post, everyone else, no one cared about sending any reporters there to see what happened in that courtroom because it's not important to them. They just want to lie about the story. They want to pretend that it wasn't real because that's good for them. Seeing what happens to people when faced with the repercussions of the policies that they push for, that's a little bit too much. That's a little too much to look at. So it's much better to just pretend it never happened in the first place and keep saying that you're for the protection of children, even though when children are put in this position, you're the one standing between them and getting better. So obviously, after these wild, hilarious lies coming from, and hilarious as in like hilariously bad, they're not funny. Nothing like this is funny. After this, CNN actually confronted Jim Jordan after the man was arrested.
Why'd you delete the tweet?
He asked him, why did he delete the tweet?
Why'd you delete the tweet?
Well, because we learned that this illegal alien did this heinous crime. So we deleted the tweet.
Did you apologize to the girl and the family for suggesting it was a lie?
Never doubted the child.
Yeah, listen. So here, we'll talk about the illegal alien thing in a moment. So, are you going to apologize to the child and the family? Nah. I never doubted the child. I just said that everybody was lying about what she said. I think that I just said that everybody is lying about repeating what she said. I didn't say that she was lying. I just said that everybody else was lying by saying that she was telling the truth. Come on, give me some slack.
I was responding to a headline from your profession, the news profession, which happens all the time on Twitter.
I was replying to a headline from your profession, the news profession, on Twitter. So just so you know, Republican House leader Jim Jordan did not read a national article that he is like responding to about saying that his political opponents lie. So I just responded to the headline. I didn't read about what happened at all, but like I saw the headline and I'm like, Lamau, journalist, am I right? And so I just like commented something that I think would like be good for me when it comes to voting, no matter how many 10-year-old assault victims are hurt. Lamau.
Doubted Joe Biden, which is usually a smart thing to do.
So yeah, nice one. So, but he said that the person who was arrested was an illegal alien. They're once doing this again. So they're like rats jumping from a sinking ship. From the Democrats are lying about everything bad happening in the country because I don't want to come to grips with the reality of my political positions have on people's suffering. To sure, I guess they were telling the truth, but it was an illegal alien, so like it's them darn dirty Mexicans jumping over the border that we need to stop raping like a bunch of children or whatever. And as far as I know with this story is that the person who did the assault is actually related to the girl. But once again, this can change, and it's all like a lot of it is in the air at the moment because a lot of this stuff just happened. But this is a complete embarrassment for the Republicans. Again, they're horrible, terrible human beings who care nothing about the suffering of other human beings and care all about what can get them more fun political points. They didn't even read the articles that they were talking about. They didn't look into anything happening. They just say, well, I didn't see it happen, so it's probably fake. And so this shows us like how quickly lies spread within like a lot of conservative circles. How one person says something that no matter if it's true or false, if they can latch onto it for their own political gain, they'll do it and they'll run with it. It does not matter if it's true. It does not matter the factual accuracy of it. It does not matter where it's come from. If it's something that they can hook onto, they'll just run with it until proven wrong. And honestly, there's probably still thousands of conservatives out there still telling people that this story is fake, even though they have somebody, they have DNA evidence, and the person who's done it has already pleaded guilty, or at least admitted to him doing the assault already. I don't know what more there needs to be said. But for these people, it's not like they reason themselves into this position. It's not like you're going to reason them out of it, really. They only believe it to serve their own political ends. And to add on to the actual trash fire of everything going on here, the doctor that could have possibly saved that young girl's life is now being investigated by the Indiana Attorney General for violating like abortion laws in the country to hopefully put them in jail, because Republicans really love it when 10-year-old children give birth to their rape victim's baby. They think it's fun. They think it's delicious. They want more of it. They want it to happen every day of every week. And are they going to do anything to stop it? No, absolutely not. Are they going to put more money into like rape shelters or like proper training for people to understand when people are being abused and to hopefully intervene on that? Nah, absolutely not. Are they even going to do something like having better sex ed that has been proven to not only reduce the rates of assault in children, but also increases the rates that they're reported? And so maybe if that kid got good sex ed like that, she would have known to go to the police and get like a rape kit done to get that hard DNA evidence, so she wouldn't have been in this position in the first place. Are they going to do that? Nah, that's not going to happen either. And yeah, you're right. It did actually not like violate Indiana abortion law. He just wants to go after this doctor to make their life harder because it serves their political ends. Because once again, that's all they care about. This is disgusting. It's incredibly sad. I am happy that we have people like that doctor who was able to possibly save that young girl's life from a life of suffering, and one where they're forced to raise a actual child as a child, yeah, or dying in childbirth when there's no reason why any of that should have happened. They are gross, they are disgusting, and they need to be stopped. And you can help stop them. Get involved in your local politics, okay? Because the good thing is that there are places out there where you can make an amazing amount of change, and you can push for things to happen. At the end of the day, do not forget that a lot of people in the country do absolutely think that there should be generally access to abortion, and people are going to believe that in this situation, absolutely they should be able to make the choice about whether or not that they should go through with that pregnancy, because it's not the legislature's job to choose that for them. They're not having the baby, and Republicans sure as hell aren't going to help take care of it after it's here.